Well, Mary MacLeod is a former Member of Parliament and Policy Advisor to Queen Elizabeth, and she joins us now. So, Mary, you knew and worked with the Queen. What was she like?
Yes, well, I just recently came back from a couple of weeks at Balmoral, and of course I worked with the Queen at Buckingham Palace on policy and strategy. And I must say, she was wonderful, engaging. She would light up the room. I mean, I think that's why we see the outpouring of love for her by everyone across Great Britain, but also others around the world. And there's great sadness in losing someone who was cherished and loved. And our new Prime Minister has said that she was the rock on which modern Britain was built, and I think that is true. She was curious. She asked lots of questions, very personal in her approach, and she had a great skill of listening. And I just think she therefore made working with her just so easy in that regard. And for anything that we would ask her to do, if you could tie it back to duty and service, which was what was at the core of everything she did, then she would happily do it.
And obviously a public figure, but behind that image, she's known to have had a really good sense of humour. Was that your experience?
Oh, definitely, yeah. The first night I met her was a very small dinner in Balmoral in the summer, and I just laughed all evening. She told story after story and made everyone feel at ease, and that was, my first encounter with her. But on other times, she would just talk about what had happened that day, especially the funny things that people had done or said, and recount stories. And I think the family have it too. Just only a week ago at the Braemar Games in Balmoral, the new king and his sister, the Princess Royal, were sitting laughing away during those games. So I think she surrounded herself with that sort of love of life and wanting to enjoy life.
And also someone who had an enormous interest in and command of the huge range of issues that landed on her desk every day.
Absolutely. She had 70 years of building and understanding, and also just the knowledge of not only, the United Kingdom, but also of the world. I mean, she was probably the most well-travelled head of state, reaching out to people across the globe. And I think she had this ability also to retain knowledge and information, and also would ask some really great questions. So I think that wealth of knowledge and experience, and she had 15 prime ministers, all constantly out meeting people from all walks of life. So she really did have a handle of the issues. And of course, she met the prime minister every week. So I'm sure it gave him or her lots of great advice.
And how do you think she'll be remembered? What will her legacy be?
Well, I think, and it's interesting just hearing everyone talk about it in the last day, she was Elizabeth the Great, or Elizabeth the Wise, or Elizabeth the Steadfast, but she will be remembered with real love and that sort of warm appreciation for her incredible life of service and duty, and she never faltered from that at all. And I think she was probably both the best of our history and an inspiration for our future. So we have, things to look forward to, and we can celebrate what she brought. But hopefully her legacy lives on in all of us.
Mary MacLeod, thank you very much indeed for joining us today and sharing your thoughts.
You're welcome.